Good day to each and everyone. Now let's talk about the origin of Socrates. Socrates was an ancient Greek philosopher considered to be the main source of Western thought. He was condemned to death his Socratic method of questioning. Who was Socrates? Socrates was a scholar, teacher, and philosopher born in ancient Greece. His Socratic method laid the groundwork for Western systems of logic and philosophy. When the political climate of Greece turned against him, Socrates was sentenced to death by hemlock poisoning in 399 before Christ. He accepted his judgment rather than fleeing into exile. Socrates' early years. Born circa 470 before Christ, in Athens, Greece, Socrates' life is chronicled through only a few sources: the dialogues of Plato and Xenophon and the plays of Aristophanes. Because these writings had other purposes than reporting his life, it is likely none present a completely accurate picture. However, collectively, they provide a unique and vivid portrayal of Socrates' philosophy and personal. Socrates was the son of Sophronius, an Athenian stonemason and sculptor, and Phainarete, a midwife. Because he wasn't from a noble family, he probably received a basic Greek education and learned his father's craft at a young age. It believes Socrates worked as mason for many years before he devoted his life to philosophy. Contemporaries differ in different account of how Socrates supported himself as a philosopher. Both Xenophon and Aristophanes state Socrates received payment for teaching, while Plato writes Socrates explicitly denied accepting payment, citing his poverty as proof. Socrates' family. Socrates married Xanthippe, a younger woman who bore him three sons: Lamprocles, Sophoniscus, and Menexenus. Menexenus is little known about her, except for Xenophon's characterization of Xanthippe as a desirable. He writes she was not happy with Socrates' second profession and complained that he wasn't supporting family as a philosopher. By his own words, Socrates had a little to do with his son's upbringing and expressed far more interest in the intellectual development of Athens' other young boys. Socrates' life in Athens. Athenian law required all able-bodied males serve as citizen soldiers on call for duty for ages 18 until 60. According to Plato, Socrates served in the armored infantry, known as the hoplite, with shield, long spear, and face mask. He participated in three military campaigns during the Peloponnesian War at Delium, Amphipolis, and Potidaea, where he saved the life of Alcibiades, a popular Athenian general. Socrates was known for his fortitude in battle and his fearlessness, a trait that stayed with him throughout his life. After his trial, he compared his refusal to retreat from his legal troubles to a soldier's refusal to retreat from battle when threatened with death. Socrates always emphasized the importance of the mind over the relative unimportance of the human body. This credo inspired Plato's philosophy of dividing reality into two separate realms: the world of the senses and the world of ideas, declaring that the latter was the only important one. Philosophy of Socrates. Socrates believed that philosophy should achieve practical results for the greater well-being of society. He attempted to establish an ethical system based on human reason rather than theological doctrine. Socrates pointed out that human choice was motivated by the desire for happiness. Ultimate wisdom comes from knowing oneself. The more a person knows, the greater his or her ability to reason and make choices that will bring true happiness. Socrates believed that this into politics with the best form of government bring neither the tyranny nor a democracy. Instead, government worked best when ruled by individuals who had the greatest ability, knowledge, and virtue, and possessed a complete understanding of themselves. The Socratic legacy. For Socrates, Athens was a classroom and he went about asking questions of the elite and common man alike, seeking to arrive at political and ethical truths. Socrates didn't lecture what he knew. In fact, he claimed that to be ignorant because he had no ideas, but wise because he recognized his own ignorance. He asked questions of his fellow Athenians in a dialect method, the Socratic method, which compelled the audience to think through a problem to a logical conclusion. Sometimes the answer seemed so obvious it made its Socrates' opponents look foolish. During Socrates' life, Athens was going through a democratic transition from hegemony in the classical world to its decline after a humiliating defeat by Sparta in the Peloponnesian War. While many Athenians admired Socrates' challenges to Greek conventional wisdom and humorous way he went about it, an equal number grew angry and felt he threatened their way of life and an uncertain future. Trial and death of Socrates. In 399 before Christ, Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens and of impiety, or heresy. He chose to defend himself in court. Rather than present himself as wrongly accused, Socrates declared he fulfilled an important role as a gadfly, one who provides an important service to his community by continually questioning and challenging the status and its defense. The jury was not swayed by Socrates' defense and convicted him by a vote of 280 to 221. Possibly, the defiant tone his defense contributed to the verdict, and he made things worse during the deliberation over his punishment. The jury was not amused and sentenced him to death by drinking mixture of poison hemlock. Before Socrates' execution, friends offered to bribe the guards and rescue him so he could flee into exile. He declined, stating he wasn't afraid of death, felt he would be no better off if in exile, and said he was still a loyal citizen of Athens, willing to abide by its laws, even the ones that condemned him to death. Plato described Socrates' execution in his Phaedo dialogue. Socrates drank the hemlock mixture without hesitation. Numbness slowly crept into his body until it reached his chest. Shortly before his final breath, Socrates described his death as a release of the soul from the body.